This is the Glitch Panopticon Season 3 Chapter 8. In this episode, we will be talking about how natural transmitters/receivers function to produce a psychic network. Now, a traditional psychic telescope requires three components: the subjects, the receiver, the transmitter, and the structure, or lens/filter. However, some function within the system as transmitters and receivers. These are individuals who through some psychological conditioning have acquired the ability to both receive and transmit at the same time. Transmitters/receivers are able to receive transmissions from some subject without a transmitting partner. In other words, they maintain extant psychic relationships with subjects all the time. Typically, these subjects are lineally related to them in some fashion. The programming required for a transmitter/receiver involves the gradual depatterning of the individual and the formation of two personas, one of which is subordinate, the other which is dominant. These two personas exist within the same consciousness, creating an internal transmitter-receiver relationship within the same mind. It is through this sub/dom arrangement that such individuals are able to act as both transmitter/receiver. The tension between the subordinate and the dominant generates cognitive dissonance, which must be carefully maintained to preserve the sub/dom arrangement. Generally, such individuals form tripartite intimate relationships most effectively. In this example, such a receiver/transmitter would act as a third in an already stable union with some pairing. This permits the sub/dom to form a subordinate relationship with the dominant and a dominant relationship with the sub. However, relationships are fluid things, and the natural shifting of roles between sub and dom must be reflected in the orientation of the sub/dom. Now, sub/doms are most effective as nodes within a psychic network. Receiver transmitters possess the ability to reflect received monologues or conversations within a social network. This usefulness as a node within an extant psychic network gives sub/doms a unique capacity to act as components in the construction of a network of psychic spies. A sub/dom, transmitter/receiver, transmits received communications laterally and upward through the psychic network. They are typically most effective lower down the social hierarchy, as status impairs their ability to act as a subordinate. They must embed themselves within the lower classes, entangle themselves within a social network, through which they are able to transmit upward and laterally, to those better placed to take direct action upon the intelligence gathered. Now, generally, transmitters are DOMs just as receivers are generally subs. The best pairings of sub/doms are familial or intimate. Transmitters and receivers can be found at either end of the social spectrum, but DOMs typically achieve positions of social status, which enable them to maintain their DOM status. Now, intimate relationships often function through fluidity to alter these roles. So it would be incorrect to say that anyone is completely sub or completely dom. But when I speak about transmitters and receivers, I am talking about their relationship relative to the other pairing. A transmitter could form subordinate relationships with everyone in his social network except the receiver to which he is attached. Just as a receiver could be a dom except around the transmitter. But what is patently clear is that a transmitter/receiver remains static, functioning with two nascent personas which simultaneously facilitate the reception of transmissions. In a previous episode, I talked about handlers. Handlers are just transmitters/receivers who act as nodes within the psychic network. These nodes generally can be found in the relationships of important, or key players, within any political or corporate sphere. The best transmitters/receivers are the most effective at smoothing out the oratorical wrinkles in their subjects. That's the end of the podcast for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment and subscribe.